deep and soulful growls and squalls. Jackie, she's known for her soft and her deeper vocals. I myself, Dorinda, is the jazzy sister. I input scats and riffs and runs into my music. And Karen, she's known for her riffs and her runs and her growls and her very high range. And Twinkie, the one that's always on the organ, she is known for her soulful squalls and her growls as well. Although we each do some writing, Twinkie is known for being the chief songwriter and the musical and vocal arranger and producer earlier on in our group. Some of our most popular songs are You Brought the Sunshine, Is My Living in Vain, I'm Looking for a Miracle, Endow Me, and Jesus is a Love Song. With 16 albums to our credit and millions in sales, my sisters and I, the Clark Sisters, are the highest selling female gospel group in history.
Still I rise. I am Shirley Children. I was an American politician, educator, and author. I became the first African American woman elected in the United States Congress. And I represented New York's 12th Congressional District for 7 terms from 1969 to 1983. In 1972, I became the first black candidate for a major party's nomination for President of the United States and the first woman to run for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. In 1968, I ran for the U.S. House of Representatives from New York's 12th Congressional District, which is part of a court-mandated reappointment plan that had been significantly withdrawn to focus on Bed-Stuyvesant and was thus expected to result in Brooklyn's first black member of Congress. Then Adam Clayton Powell Jr. in 1945 became the first black member of Congress from New York City as a whole. As a result of withdrawing, the white incumbent and the former 12th Representative Edna F. Kelly sought re-election in a different district. I announced my candidacy around January 1968, and I established some early organizational support. My campaign slogan was unbought and unbossed. In June 1968, I defeated 2 other black opponents. In the general election, I staged an upset victory over James L. Farmer Jr., the former director of the Congress of Racial Equality, who was running for Liberal Party candidate with Republican support, winning by approximately 2-to-1 margin. I thereby became the first black woman elected to Congress. In 2015, I was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I am Shirley Chisholm. Hello.
Hello.
You know me as a poet, as an activist, as a historian, an actor, a producer. I can go on and on. I'm also a civil rights activist. I hold over 50 honorary degrees. And you may know some of my work, especially I know why the cage birds sing.
I have over 30 best-selling titles. My poems are known to invoke so much feeling. I taught you how to love in and out of time. I taught you that the woman is phenomenal. My poems teach you how to be black, how to be strong, and how to love. I am Maya Angelou. Right.
I am Rosa Parks. I was born Rosa Louise McCauley on February 4th, 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. As a child, my parents split up, and my brother, my mother, and I, we moved with our grandparents to Pine Level, Alabama. Both grandparents were former slaves and very strong advocates of racial equality. At a young age, my mother taught me how to read. I went on to attend segregated one-room schools in Pine Level, Alabama, that often lacked school supplies, like even a desk. Colored students were forced to walk to the 1st through 6th grade schoolhouse, while the city provided buses and new school buildings for the white students. Through the rest of my educational years, I attended segregated schools in Montgomery. In 1929, while in the 11th grade and attending a laboratory school, I had to leave to take care of my grandmother and my mother who fell sick. I never returned to my studies. Instead, I got a job as a shirt factory in Montgomery. I was 19 in 1932 when I met and married Raymond Parks, my husband. He was a barber and an active member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. With Raymond's support, I earned my high school degree in 1933. I soon became actively involved in civil rights issues by joining the Montgomery chapter of the NAACP in 1943, serving as the chapter's youth leader as well as the secretary to the NAACP president, E.D. Nixon. I had no intention on changing the world that day, or even becoming an international icon of resistance to racial segregation. I just simply wanted to had a firm belief in maintaining my dignity, and did not want to be treated differently because of the color of my skin. But on December 1st, 1955, after a long day's work at the department store where I worked as a seamstress, I boarded the Cleveland Avenue bus to go home. I paid my fare. I took my seat. So happened it was in the first row of the color section. As the bus started filling with more and more white people, the bus driver noticed several white passengers were standing. Now, the city bus ordinance gave drivers the authority to assign seats, but it did not specifically give them the authority to demand a colored person give their seats to anyone. The bus driver stopped the bus, took the sign, moved it behind me. He then asked the 4 of us to get out of our seats. The other 3 complied. I refused and remained in my seat. My refusal wasn't because I was physically tired. My refusal was because I was tired of giving in. The driver screamed at me, "Why don't you stand up?" To which I simply replied, "I don't think I should have to." The driver huffed off, called the police, and had me arrested for violating the city code. So I was handcuffed and taken to the police headquarters, where I was fingerprinted and jailed until my boss, Edgar Nixon, and my friend, Cliff Durr, bailed me out that evening. That wasn't the first time, actually, that I faced that trial.